Well, let's talk about hearing because it's World Hearing Day today. A hearing expert with the Kofoanoche Teaching Hospital is warning loudspeakers used in churches could have negative effects on the hearing of congregants. Audiologist Barbara Brago warns many Christians are at risk of long-term hearing defects as a result of loud audio produced in the various churches. As the world marks World Hearing Day today, audiologist wants proper attention paid to excessive noise exposed to the ear. Here's Ohime Interior's report.
The World Health Organization estimates 360 million people live with hearing disabilities, with 1 billion young people aged between 12 and 35 at risk of hearing loss due to recreational exposure to loud sounds. The Kofoanoche Teaching Hospital recorded 1,087 adult hearing-related cases in 2015. 897 children were presented within the same period. The number, however, increased to 1,186 for adults and 947 for children in 2016. The most common type of hearing loss presented according to experts is sensorineural. It is hearing loss arising as a result of problems caused to the inner ear. Experts blame exposure to loud noise, aging, head trauma, among others.
So it's difficult for them to get employment. And those who are traders too, they find it difficult to get customers. In case a child too is a student, his academic performance too also goes down. And most of them too becomes isolated. Well, they think when I speak, people don't hear. When people too speak, I don't hear. So why should I continue to be in the company of people?
Audiologist Barbara Brago Entry says Christians must be concerned about noise pollution in the church.
When you visit our modern churches nowadays, the equipment that they use, the speakers that they use, you meet about 3 to 4 congregations, and they have set up the volume so high, which is not very healthy for the ear. So we are appealing to the churches. They should minimize the volume of the sound that they produce. Because you may think you are safe at your home, but by the time that you come from your church, you might have temporary hearing loss. And as you move in and out, one day it will become permanent. And where will you be going?
Pastor Obed Joy Obin is the founder and leader of the Miracle Manna Church at Ija. He is aware of the dangers associated with excessive noise in the church.
Most of the sound we hear in churches nowadays are not sound. They are rather noise making. Noise making is when you go beyond the boundaries. You go beyond the people who are supposed to listen, to the extent that those who are afar are still affected by the kind of sound you're producing. So for us as a church, we are more careful with that. And we have people coming to church, and at the end of the day, they come back and tell me that, Pastor, your sound was too loud and you need to do something about it. I want to take this opportunity to say that sound making is not necessarily, noise making is not necessarily the move of the spirit. You can make the right sound at the right environment.
Though 60% of childhood hearing loss is preventable, late diagnosis, lack of equipment and personnel hamper early diagnosis. Mr. and Mrs. Dabanka detected their 4-year-old daughter, Angela, has a hearing impairment 3 years after birth. Various hospitals could not detect the condition at early stage. Thanks to the hearing center at Kofoanoche Teaching Hospital, Angela is receiving some quality attention. But that came with a huge cost to the family's income. Mrs. Cynthia Dabanka has been assured Angela can hear and talk sooner or later.
My daughter is 4 years old. She should be talking by now, but she has speech difficulties. Though she sometimes responds to instructions, she can't talk. All that she can say is mama and dada. Treating this condition is expensive. At least We have spent 1,500 Ghana cedis. Though she has insurance, we still pay.
There is, however, hope for people like Angela and many others because hearing aids and speech therapies, among others, are available.
And that's Ohimin Terrier's report from Kumasi. And the advice really to churches is one that we all have to add our voices to. Let the churches pay some attention to it. Roland Walker is
hearing impaired.
is also a Sunday school teacher. So
I thought you said
how loud is the noise in your church?
I think for the main auditorium, it is loud. But usually we don't conduct our services in that manner of making a lot of noise. So, but of course, just like every church, when there's praise and worship, you praise and worship.
Yeah.
But it's not the one that have the speakers on full blast and, you know. In a Sunday school, we have the speakers available, but they are not on full blast for the children.
Okay.
Yeah.
My church is equally, I think what you're saying totally describes my church. The sound is normal. You don't really feel anything.
Which church do you
what do you mean, which one? You know my church. I'm not mentioning the name of any church. I was invited to a church once, a very small church, and the noise, my God.
Was like that for the stadium. The acoustics, the acoustics usually of the sound will sound like that of a big open place.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. And once you got out, your ears
they actually
kind of
want
like
to get the attention of those beyond the church. That's usually what they do.
Oh no, but that's not good. Okay, so it's hearing day today. If your church makes too much noise, what can you do as an individual in the church?
If your church makes too much noise and you are not afraid of God and Jesus, then you have to take it up. You see, the thing is that we've made religion sacrosanct in our society.
Yeah.
So anything pertaining to a church is said to be untouchable.
Yeah.
And I don't know about it, but because even sometimes, anyway.
Well, for your own health's sake, maybe get out of the church and go to another one. That's not Roland saying, that's just me. All right, let's still remain in Kumasi. Let's talk about another subject. Takeover of a lorry park that happened yesterday at Abu Abu, and our colleague Erastus Asari Donko is going to join us with details of that. But let's just bring back that report to you, and then we'll raise Erastus Asari Donko on the line. We'll talk about what's happening this morning at this particular lorry station, and it's become like an MPP NDC thing, even though the elections are over. The lorry station election is still very much on. Here's a report filed by Erastus Asari Donko.
Station, and behind me is the Alaba community, which is a merchant city on its own, and it makes business here very profitable. This station you see here to my right is the bone of contention here. There are two factions fighting to work here and load passengers to the three northern regions. Now, with every government coming into session, we have one party coming over to drive away the other party and taking hold of this particular station, which is the gold mine for many of the transport operators here. And so, with the incoming of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, we had NPP supporters who came in here and drove their NDC colleagues away from this part. Previously, the issue had gone to the KMA, and they had decided that both should occupy this particular land, the NDC to this side and the NPP to this side. Now, they have driven them away and they have occupied both parts. And so, many of the NDC supporters who are starving have also threatened on a number of occasions to come here and retaliate.
Our people, our secretary, were being wounded with a cutlass. No,
Erastus is joining us this morning. Erastus, good morning to you. I hope you're well.
I'm good.
We thank God. So you are at this same venue where this incident occurred yesterday, and you reported that some 8 persons got injured in the process. How does the place look like this morning?
The place looks empty. In fact, we have roadblocks, police roadblocks on one end of the Alaba section, and then the other end leading to the main Abu Abu town itself. The whole place has been cleared of vehicles. They are not allowing both factions to operate from this terminal today. And that's the order that has come up. And so there is one patrol vehicle to one of the ends of the roadblock leading to the Alaba Merchant City. And then there is another roadblock with some armed policemen there as well. Currently, I'm seeing some of the injured. Yesterday, those who sustained some machete wounds, they are back here. They belong to one faction. And then I'm seeing the other faction also at their end. Some of the boys also sitting around waiting. Because we do understand the leadership, both leadership have been detained by the police, and they are preparing them for court.
Okay. So Erastus, let's understand this. This is a lorry park controlled by, depending on which party is in government, by a certain political party supporters, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But this is not the regular kind of lorry park that's controlled by the assembly.
No. It's a piece of land, very close. It sits within a strategic area, if I should put it that way, because behind it, we have the ADDN leading to the Zongo police station. It's a thick enclave of the Abuabo community. And then when you go to my left here, we have the Central Market. There is a railway line that leads straight to the Central Market. And then on the left as well is the Alaba Merchant City itself, where they sell practically everything in this part of the world. There's also where the black market is, where they sell the dollars and other things. And so to the other end, we have the Abuabo town, Menchia is to this end. So it's a strategic place where you find many of the people who travel to the three northern regions converging to pick vehicles. So any transport operator will find it as a gold mine. That is why it has become so lucrative for people to fight about.
So I take it that there are no buses there this morning?
No buses here at all. There are some women who are traveling to the north. I asked them, they said the buses are parked about a mile from here, so they are going to board the buses from that end. But on the main terminal itself, which is a piece of land indeed, they are not allowing any buses to park here.
It's interesting how the police is kind of taking an action today, because yesterday they were very much present when this whole chaos was happening.
In fact, Mama V, that is one concern that many have raised. You do not understand the operations of the police sometimes, because in their dealing with recently with the KTI students, you find them firing tear gas and rubber bullets, live bullets all across campus. But yesterday, they are standing armed, many of them, close to about 20 armed policemen, and they stand and watch people, slash people with machetes and throw stones and other things, and nobody was arrested. And it's what people are raising, that this whole thing is politically manipulated. It looks like the police are heeding to the orders of unseen hands. And so, as and when they are told, they are just standing aloof, playing strategically, and do not want to meddle in the affairs of these people, though serious crimes have been committed right before their eyes.
It's a shame, isn't it? But the leaders of both sides, you say, have been arrested. Do we know when they're taking them to court, if they would?
We do understand that there will be a process for court this morning. I yet to get in touch with the regional police command to know when it's, but we do know that there will be process for court this morning.
All right, Erastus, I know that you're working on getting some more updates for us on News Desk at 10, but for now, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Erastus Asare Donko in Kumasi reporting for us. Let's come back to Accra. Let's talk about a subject that made many people happy yesterday. We're talking about the budgets, and Maxwell Agbagba is reporting from the headquarters of the KIA to find out what they make of the abolished taxes that was announced yesterday by the finance minister. So we give it over to Maxwell Agbagba.
At Tema Station to have interactions with some KIA to find out from them how they feel about this. I mean, just to gauge the mood here at the Tema station. In fact, speaking in an off-record conversation with some of them, a lot of them are very excited about this. But let's find out from these Kaye how they feel about the move to abolish the Kaye, market tolls. Mommy, you're frozen. Aye. Indeed, maybe so. And now, what they say, toast na ya mutiano. Ye free or not at all saying.
I had that. Today, oh, yeah, man, to your papa. And what can I say? What my baby account to what ye tutini and yaji papa. Yan said they all coming in our Wayama. To Yanaji, to Yana. Okay. You have to be a car. Yanimofia cry, Baba Chano.
Okay, so essentially what this woman is saying is that she's very excited by the move to abolish the Kaye market tolls, and that if she even knows the home of President Akufo-Addo, she would go there personally to go and greet him just as a way of showing her appreciation. But maybe so also not what here na it will say.
Miti and I am it there. I am it there say. Bibi also by Yamano. Yan misa abana yantu angugwatamu yatugu babiani papa.
Okay. So okay, Bebao. So she said that she's excited. She's excited they voted for President. She voted. She's excited that President Akufo-Addo, won the elections, and that whatever that he promised that he was going to do for them, they're excited that he has started doing, doing them all already, and that they did not waste their votes. I mean, she just to do a direct translation, she says they didn't put their vote in gutter. They didn't vote inside the gutter. I mean, just that's what she said actually.
Nti yani say I say obayi adiana from wa yitit na from na nura na dwe de papa say wa yitit na from nti adia ba kwa ya ka say also obama ya baby ada eno na ebo mpa se so nya yitit na de ya nim say baby obama ya ada na eno so obeti ma ye.
Okay. So she's optimistic. She says President Akufo-Addo promised that he was going to abolish the Kaye tax or the Kaye toll. He has done that, and now what they want is that they want proper housing. That's what they want. But she's optimistic that because President Akufo-Addo has been able to, says he has abolished the tolls, he would also get them proper housing. So I mean they will have a very cool place to sleep. Let me find out from this woman also. And now what's your night saying?
Oh, and I said almost see the Kaye phone. Obia omo anche tikitibu eye de pa sa omo sa sam na ho kan no ekura anke pese ye hunu na enchia no se de wo ye na eye de yes na eye ho ha papa
okay
5,000 omo betima buye tikiti no uni sika no mo yine mo na afiri otino obia obeje umpa boa na wa jipa na afiri wasu untia unchi no adini maneko ti enura de da si papa said that
okay so this woman is also excited about it. She's also saying that if she also knew the home of President Akufo-Addo, she would go there herself to go and greet President Akufo-Addo and tell him that good job, you've done well for us. She says that sometimes the people who collect the tolls here at the market sometimes harass them. There are instances where they will take their slippers from them. If you do not pay the tolls, the load you're carrying, sometimes they can take it away from you and ask you, demand that you pay the toll before they give it back to you.
Yeah, Maxwell, we're getting all excited in the midst of all those women. So now we know, but how soon is that taking effect? That's another subject altogether. But I guess for them, effective today, they are not paying any peswa, any cedi to anybody. Let's talk about another subject. We're talking about Adisadel College, and we're talking about the Old Boys 92-year group. They're raising some funds and carrying out some infrastructural projects on campus. My understanding is one is almost done. They're being very ambitious by trying to put up another structure. And some of the members are joining me in studio. Prince Opoko Dusay is secretary to the 92-year group, and Abdul Salam Wahab is the project committee chairman for this very ambitious project. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Am I right in saying that it's very ambitious?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because at the school boys are always ambitious.
Okay, all right. Okay, so tell me how far with the first project? How far have you come with it?
So far we are almost 90% done. To give you a brief of the project, is actually the old dining hall building.
Okay.
The need for us putting up what you are calling this project is because the students are going on shifts, and we are trying to avoid the shift system.
Shifting eating?
Shifting and eating, you can imagine. I mean, that is.
But was it the same for you when you were there?
It wasn't the same.
Okay.
When we were there, we were about 1,200, and the facility was able to accommodate all of us at a go. So it's not the same now, and we want to make sure all students go to dining hall at the same time.
Okay.
If possible.
So you're almost done with this dining hall project.
Yes,
how much did it cost you?
The budget was 400,000 for 1 wing, and initially we budgeted $100,000 for both wings.
Okay.
But naturally, with every project, once you start it, so many things happen. That budget was about 2 years ago, and with inflation and other stuff, definitely it's changed. So we used 400,000 in getting this section done, and we're expecting to get same to do the other sections.
But this was purely contributions from the 92-year group?
Yes, largely. Yeah, I would say about 60–70% of it came from the year group members, and we also had some general support coming in from other old boys and other entities, organizations that we approached.
Okay. So now you're almost done with this first one, but you want to carry out another project. What is it?
The dining hall has 2 wings. We have constructed an upper deck, more like a first floor,
okay,
for the other wing. We are left with for the left or one of the wings, we are left with the right wing. So we have a very complete dining hall that can accommodate even future numbers.
What's the cost of that project?
Well, we estimate that to cost also around the same 400,000 Ghana cedi. Of course, the earlier the better. Otherwise, if it goes delays, we may have some cost increases, and that could also affect the cost.
Okay. So what's the plan for this project?
The plan is now we should be commissioning this one somewhere next week.
Okay.
During our 107th speech day, and we are hopeful other year groups, if not even the 92-year group, will take up this project so that we get it completed once and for all. So that the students will all go to dining hall at the same time.
Why are you looking back? I mean, you finished school in '92. I'm sure you're successful in the various things that you're doing. Why are you making the school your business?
Actually, Adisadel College has a unique tradition where every year, the year group that celebrates its 25th anniversary, that is 25 years after leaving the school, is supposed to go back, host the speech day, and also crown it all with the unveiling of a project.
Okay.
And over the years, that has helped a lot to improve the infrastructural needs of the school. And so each year group is required. It's inborn. I mean, we went to the school. Our school old even says it.
Yes.
You know, that ours is to do exploits and add to their gain.
Okay.
You know, so that those who come after us will take up
So
our
this
story.
is more of a responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yes.
When is your 25th anniversary?
That is 11th of March. Next Saturday.
Okay.
And that's when we have the speech day. And there's about a 3–4 day long activity that will mark the anniversary.
Okay. So what's the call out there to your old boys? No, maybe not necessarily 92-year group, but the others. What's the message to them?
The message is we're calling them to know, at least per the school oath, you need to pay back to the school. So what we're calling them to do is if possible, the next year group, who are also supposed to put up a structure and come on board, so that we get this one completed once and for all, so that the students can all go to the NIO at the same time.
Okay.
Because the belief is that is the center of discipline. That is where we actually get the disciplinary activities from. So we hope that we're going to get a year group to take up that.
Okay. Seeing that you're giving back, just one curious question, then I have another curious question. Yes, the lineup for the speech and prize giving, is it coming from the 92-year group, or this is the school's business?
Well,
it's a 92-year group then.
Yes.
We do almost all the activities.
Okay.
We are supposed to finance all the activities, and but with the support of the National Executive Committee of the school. So
okay. So anything special happening? What's going to go into it?
Well, we start off on Wednesday, the 8th of March.
International Women's Day. Are you involving women in this?
Yes, we are.
Our girls are
yes,
coming on board.
Yeah. we have a medical screening for the students on Wednesday and Thursday, the 8th and 9th of March. We have some nurses and some of our favorite women in Cape Coast schools coming to join us, help us to organize this.
Who are they, by the way? No, we're not starting any fights. I went to Zion College. I am not there at all.
Yes, we don't want any year group to come accusing us of taking their girls. We have on Friday a football match between the old students of the 92-year group and the staff of the school. Okay. And then in the afternoon, we have a career counseling session for the final year students. And we believe that we need to help them, usher them into the world when they leave school, so they can make proper choices as far as their careers is concerned as they enter the university. And then the speech day proper is on Saturday morning. That is 11th of March. We begin in the morning with the unveiling of the project. That's the commissioning. Commissioning has become a favorite word. Commissioning of the project, the remodel dining hall.
Okay.
And then later in the morning, around 10 a.m., we have our speech day on the school park. And then in the evening, we have a dinner. And that's where most of the ladies are joining us.
Is it still on campus?
No, it's at the dinner is at the University of Cape Coast Clubhouse.
Okay.
We have Holy Child School. They would also have a program in their school around the same time, speech day. So the ladies are joining us.
But they are not your girls?
For dinner. They are not our girls.
Okay.
But they've always been fan of Adisado College. Yes. Right. And then we have a cement party on Sunday. We have our favorite cement party on Sunday after the Founders Day church service in the morning.
Wow.
I thought we were going to ask what cement party is.
No, I tried to figure that out, but yes, you can tell us.
It's just Showcase. You know Gary Showcase? But it's very special to our disco boys.
Yeah.
That is
so you do that on campus with the
students and all the guests. Yes, with your cup.
Who's supplying the Gary?
Everyone brings their cup.
You need to take your cup all the way from Accra and just go and get your...
Nice.
The Gary is supplied by the 92-year group, but there are other individuals who have donated different types of Gary.
Yeah.
So it means that
is it a normal school Gary Soakins, or you're bringing milk and granite and all those things? I mean, it's going to be rich.
It's going to be rich.
All right, but you know, what were your nicknames back in school, if I am permitted to ask?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
I was called Salamba.
Salamba.
But it's got something to do with my name and where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I'm a native of Yendi. And we have a place in Tamale called Salamba, so it's usually related to...
How would you usually respond to that, Salamba? Friends?
Nothing special.
Mommy, I dare not mention mine on air.
Really?
Yes, please spare me this one.
You don't look like... You don't look it all. You look like an angel.
Yes, we did some crazy things.
Yeah? Okay, but you turned out really well.
Yeah.
It all worked for your good.
That's the Adisado spirit.
That's the Adisado spirit.
Yes. Well, Thanks for sharing Adesada with us. We hope that people will come on board and support this project. We wish you well with this speech and prize giving and all the projects. May you commission a lot more projects in future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But at the school boys always
We
have to
can't
leave
live
with
without
something.
our school.
Oh, your school?
Our school ode
Oh,
and our
okay.
victory songs.
All right.
It's something we do anywhere we meet anyone.
Okay.
So if you permit us.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so
Up, up, up.
up Santa Claus shall stand up to honor those who have gilded the school with their fame. Alma Mater, a blessing upon it, bids us remember the strength of their name. Others have labored and we share their glory, ours to do exploits and add to their gain. Those who come after who take up our story, may it be worthy of singing again. Play up, Santa Clausians. Play up and play the game. Give nothing but your best and never think of rest. Play up for the school's great name. Play up, Santa Clausians. So me don't play up and play the game. Give nothing but your best and never think of rest. Play up for the school's great name. Adesada on the hill, well primus, welcome primus. Alma Mater of great men, Santa Clausians. So hail Adisco, hail Adisco. We shall never be beaten. We shall always bear the palm.
Thank you.
Can I adopt your school?
You're a Santawa.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I guess
you
you've got to
having us.
pack your things, Becky.
Yes.
Thanks for ending our show for us. I think it's been really good on a very high note. We really appreciate it. All the best. And we thank you for being a part of our show from Monday till now. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you, God willing, on Monday.